Before I slop this on willy-nilly, I'm going to have a little game plan. It's always nice to have a game plan before you start your project. And I realize most of this is back behind a mirror. So I've measured the mirror to see how far out it goes, because I want to make sure I don't go out any further than that, just in case my finish paint that I have doesn't match the wall exactly. Because if it doesn't, I want all that paint that I'm going to cover the primer with, I want that underneath the mirror, okay? So I look at this and I see here, and there's also some discoloration over here, and I think I'm going to hit that. It looks like the mirror goes over to about there. Now I feel pretty comfortable with the paint that I have to go over the primer, so even if that's not going to work, if it doesn't match exactly, I could actually bring the paint over here further because it would be up against the wall. Now if your paint doesn't match exactly, what you could do, see, this wall is not very long, it just goes from there to there. So if your paint is slightly off, you know, just paint the wall from corner to corner and cut it into the ceiling and the other wall. If it's slightly off, you're never going to really notice it, you know. So try that if you're not 100% for sure, because the last thing you want is a nice little patch in the middle of your wall around your mirror. You don't have to do this around a mirror. If you got another place and it's right in the middle of a wall, you might want to just paint the entire wall, you know. Only takes a few minutes to figure out a game plan before you start putting that paint up there. Now, do you have to spend very much money on buying tools, paint tools and stuff? No. You could use a little mini roller kind of like this and a little container like this. These are those little thin throwaway sheets, you know, and you put that on there. I don't really put any paint in my little holder. I just put it on these sheets, and in fact, I save the sheets because with latex paint, once you get this and let it dry, you can basically peel it right up out of here. So I've already had paint in there before. I peeled it up and I'm ready to go again. I don't know if I'm going to use this Kills in this container with my mini roller, weenie roller some people call it. I call it a mini roller. I think I'm just going to use this throwaway cheap paintbrush I've had, because I don't need to put that much on there. I'm just going to dip in there because I've got the other paint, and I'll probably do that. I don't want to have to rinse my roller out in between coats and all that. I'm gonna try with this. I don't know how well that's going to work, but we'll see. You know, I don't usually go right out of a container of paint, but I'm going to try to be careful. I just want to go over the stain. And it may not, you may see it peeking out from underneath the paint that you put on. Make sure you mix up your paint really good, which I've done. Once I get this on there, I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to put another coat on. I think this little paintbrush is going to work fine. Okie dokie. Okay, I know you can do this. You're probably rolling your eyes like, why are you showing us this? Well, you watch the whole thing, you might learn one or two things that you didn't before. That's all. This hardly smells at all. This is good primer for this. Kills 2, low odor. I'm try to get my lines out of there, but my roller, when I put the paint roller on there later, That'll get the lines too, but you know, still do a good job. Now I just got done putting that little bit of primer on here, and in some areas you may think to put more paint on where you see that it's already bleeding through, but normally it's hard to do it with the paint still wet. But if you're careful, you can kind of put a little bit of a dusting over it, you know, and just build up the first coat. I'm going to let that dry, and it won't take very long to dry, maybe 10-15 minutes. Just dry to the touch, then I can put another coat on. I want to make sure I put 2 coats of this type of primer on here, because I want to make sure that doesn't bleed back through. Now, is it going to matter because it's behind a mirror? Probably not. But anytime anything bleeds through, you have more likelihood of mold building up in that same place. I really don't want to even chance that or even think about it. So I've got the kills out here, and I might as well put 2 coats.